Okay. Welcome everybody. Today we are playing the classic Simpsons Arcade Game. Konami, 1991. Just gonna let the cracked mode intro play out here. I love the Konami logo on there. So let's check things out. This was up to 4 players. And I've got my 2 controllers here set up. And I've got a 3rd gamepad. So if we want, we can continue through and try switching characters out as I get my ass kicked. But I think we're going to start here on player 2 with Homer. And yeah, it's not a select your own character game. It is each player has their position. So player 1 is Marge, player 2 is Homer, 3 Bart, 4 Lisa. This was odd. You had Smithers robbing a bank and kidnapping a baby. So this, came out in 91, between the 2nd and 3rd seasons of The Simpsons. So they were still kind of figuring out the characters. You had, season 2 was like the three-eyed fish episode. It was a famous one. And, Mr. Burns was like this comic villain. The world hadn't been fully established the way it would with season 3, and then becoming the classic Simpsons that we all love around season 4. But season 3 was that turning point, and then season 4 was when it became legendary. And I always, think of... Yeah, a lot of people think about Treehouse of Horror when it comes to a little Matt Groening Easter egg there. Love seeing that. Thank you, Sherry. And we're really happy to have that bowling ball right now. Oh, we lost our first life. Not too bad. Kind of want to avoid him until his ants fall down. Oh, not enough. There we go. Yeah, people think of the Treehouse of Horror a lot for Simpsons and like Halloween. And I think of Christmas a lot because I mean that was all right. That was the very first Simpsons. Oh, we're not gonna make it. Third? What? How the fuck did I get third? That's bullshit. Come on. Yeah, in 1989, when The Simpsons got their series after, you know, being on Tracy Ullman, his shorts for a few years, that, you know, it was the Simpsons Christmas special was the first one, aired in 1991, December 17th. Changing television forever. Dr. Marvin Monroe, R.I.P. See how long we can hold on to this. Very long. Get ready to switch to Bart here. And get ready to bring Marge in. Whoa! Well, at least the gorilla didn't try to make us its kid. That's not how you throw a mailbox. All right. Get Homer back on deck. Like how Marge attacks with her vacuum cleaner. They actually had, you know, the actual voice actors. At least 3 of them do the voices. I'll check in. And... Hey, Snowball. It's such a weird boss. Yeah, you know, I mean, I remember seeing this, and right next to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was, you know, like when Konami figured out how to perfect the beat 'em up genre, and then there's a Simpsons game. Oh wow! I mean, everybody loved the Simpsons. But you know, they had the NES game, and I think like Bart versus the Space Mutants or whatever was out for Nintendo at that point. It was released right around the same time. I think that came out in '91 as well. And I had zero interest in that. It just seemed ridiculous to me. But then here is a Simpsons beat 'em up game where, I mean, you know, Smithers and Mr. Burns kidnap Maggie and they're robbing diamonds, you know, which is also preposterous, but god damn, this game was fun. And you know, there was something about this that worked despite the ridiculousness of it that the other Simpsons games didn't. You know, to this day, I can't entirely figure out why that is, but no, this game was just magical. I remember these guys going back into the ground. Remember the zombies, I just don't remember that. Actual ghosts. And you have to have an elevator stage in a beat 'em up. God love it. Nice of them to give us some food in there. Hey, we found our way to Moe's Tavern.
Where do you think you're going?
These little motherfuckers here think they run Barter Town. I always thought like the little one looked like Bart. He doesn't really hear. It's just looking like it's like an evil Bart wearing a suit. Nelson and two other kids in a trench coat. Have a little poster there with the stripper from season 2. Where Homer had his picture taken dancing, even though he didn't do anything wrong, got into all sorts of trouble. Years later, you would have Marge do all sorts of terrible things, and it was still somehow Homer's fault. Hey, Barney. Hey, Maggie's on the TV. That's interesting. Weird. Where'd that baby come from? Bleeding Gums Murphy and some strippers. Marge and the Aliens machine. Hey, look, it's the Simpsons game.
Right.
I love how this boss is just some guy that's behind a bar, super drunk. Drinking so much booze, he's just spitting fire. He's not involved with kidnapping in any way. He's just an angry drunk. Yeah, you did have Dan Castanella, Julie Kavner, Nancy Cartwright, and Yeardley Smith reprising their roles, doing the voices of the Simpsons family members. You got Nancy Cartwright, who does Bart Simpson's voice. She also does Ralph Wiggum's voice. And I can't find this clip anywhere. If somebody can find it, please leave a link in the comments for it, because I would love to see this again. But it was sometime back in the 90s, maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. I think it was like pre-96 though. I could be wrong. Nancy Cartwright was on Conan O'Brien, and she was talking about how they're kind of protective of her doing Bart's voice, but she could do a little of Moe's voice. I forget who was on before her. It might have been Sarah Silverman talking about Kegels or something. But that was like the oh, come on. I thought Nancy Cartwright in Ralph Wiggum's voice goes, "I'm doing Kegels," and it was hilarious, and I would love to see that clip and make a soundbite of that. So if anybody can find that clip from Conan O'Brien with Nancy Cartwright as doing Ralph Wiggum's voice and saying, "I'm doing Kegels," please leave a comment. Leave a comment with a link to it. There's a Three-Eyed Fish reference. Oh, I had to pick that up. That Simpsons where there was the giant log with Lisa's head carved on it. Here. This bear was always one that gave me the most trouble in the arcade. Actually, doing pretty good against him from what I remember. Turns out it's just that guy. Maggie. Yeah, I love the dream stage here. Krusty tonight. I think that's definitely got to be a Mac Tonight reference with the Krusty Burger and everything. So annoying. Yeah, I never had any desire to play the Simpsons games for NES, and I love the Simpsons. You know, I mean, I still do. I haven't watched it in years. And yeah, everybody bemoans the fact like, oh, it's not as good as it was, or like, you know, seasons 4 to 11 basically were the golden age. 4 to 9 at the very least. But you know, even going into the 2000s, like the first decade, and like even like post movie, I like it. No, it might not have been as good as it was, but I mean, there's no other show that's been on that long that was that consistently good. You know, because even like when it wasn't the golden age, it still wasn't bad. And like the only season I really wouldn't want to watch is like 1 and, you know, most of season 2. You know, but like watching season 1 now is just sort of, I don't enjoy it. And like give me season 3 and up is usually where I will start. You know, preference to season 4. But to have such a long run. And again, you know, I haven't watched it much, like, definitely not since the pandemic, not before then. Yeah, I haven't liked the way the animation's gone, and just storytelling. Marge is sounding a little too much like Patty and Selma now, unfortunately. I mean, what can you be done? But I'm still glad that it's around. You know, it's comforting to know that it exists. I hate that Disney has like all the Simpsons on the Disney Plus, because I will not subscribe to them. But that's like the one thing I would want to watch, is I would just have Simpsons on all the time. And I loved it when they had Simpsons World on FX, and you could use, the app and just watch Simpsons episodes. And now it's like, oh, you want me to do that with Disney Plus? Piss off.
Wake up and find
Not watching those fuckers.
Ready? Go!
Alright. Come on. Oh, that time I won. Kent Brockman's in on it. That's not Kent Brockman, but clearly they know that Mr. Burns is somehow involved with the diamond. Oh man, I thought I was gonna get past that. Yeah, if you've been watching the channel, I've done several open bore fan-made games, and somebody did one of The Simpsons. It's Treehouse of Horror, being beat 'em up. I think I might have to check that out and do a playthrough of it. The most recent one I did was Double Dragon Reloaded. This is a fan-made mashup, they built it from the ground up in open bore of Double Dragon mixed with WWF Superstars, and that was just super fun. I think they improved the controls on it, actually, honestly, from the original Double Dragon. I still sucked at it. But I feel like it handled a lot better. It got my footing eventually. I don't claim to be the best. I just have a sock full of quarters and a love for these old games. I like to play through them. Talk about whatever comes up. Share a little history of it. But, this is Konami. These are like the only licensed games I think are like really great when Konami was doing them back then. It's a shame, we were always denied those in the home. Uh-oh, we got ninjas. It's not a 90s game without ninjas. Yeah, we had Simpsons games that I just had no interest in, and like after, you know, friends of mine had them and they didn't like them. Like, especially like the controls and some of them were notoriously bad. And then here, you know, we have this. I'm like, well, I would love this for a home console. Never got it. It took them forever to figure it out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. It's like friends of mine that got that shitty NES game, which I mean, all right, I'm being a little hard on it when I say shitty. I didn't care for it. I thought it wasn't even like it was too hard. It was just like ridiculously convoluted. Whereas like the arcade game gave us exactly what we wanted. Just you could be the Ninja Turtles just wailing on the Foot Clan. You know, like this. Like you got Homer Simpson wailing on ninjas. That's awesome. It's so not Simpsons, but you know, it works for some reason. The way like Bart versus Space Mutants didn't. I think there was like a Krusty Burger one, which I should have, you know, liked the concept of that better. What they did with the arcade, but I don't. As a weird thing where it's like this isn't like the show at all. Why would I want to play something so out there? But then this isn't like the show at all, and I absolutely love it. Played this so much. I think that's just because Konami knew how to make a beat-em-up game back then. I mean, and they, you know, started the whole 4-player trend, you know, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was nuts. And they had the 6-player X-Men, which is, yeah, amazing. Most commonly seen as the 4-player, but like, God, the 6-player that was crazy. I was lucky enough to play that before with like 6 people going through it. We made it through a huge chunk of the game, and it was crazy, just with all that going on. So much fun. And then, you know, bringing the 4 players of The Simpsons here and doing a great job with the gameplay, with the amount of fun this game is. Same as they did with Ninja Turtles.
Maggie! Welcome to my world.
I guess this is your sick mother wailing. Hey, no, I didn't want that. Oh. Who's the toughest boss in the game? It might be. Like the eyes on Mr. Burns' portrait. One of my favorite Simpsons episodes is where Mr. Burns is huffing the ether, and Homer goes in to ask him for money, and Mr. Burns thinks he's popping fresh, the Pillsbury Doughboy. And you know, not many people know this, but the Pillsbury Doughboy's name is Poppin' Fresh. That's his actual name. It's not the Pillsbury Doughboy. He's Poppin' Fresh, the Pillsbury Doughboy. And Mr. Burns, Poppin' Fresh. I can't say no to you and your gelatinous glue. And he starts poking Homer in the stomach like he would the Pillsbury Doughboy, and shows him poking the Doughboy. But then it goes back to reality, and Mr. Burns is like poking Homer in the eye and stuff. And then Homer leaves the office. He runs out with the check. He goes, "Hey, if you guys want anything from Mr. Burns, now's the time to ask. He's doped up or dying or something." And then you have Hans Moleman, the janitor, goes in, and he asks Mr. Burns for new bristles for his push broom, and Mr. Burns goes, "Oh, it's that lovable cereal leprechaun. I'll get your Lucky Charms." And he pulls out a power drill, and he starts moving towards Hans Moleman. And like the shot ends up out in the hallway, and you just hear Hans Moleman go, "Ow, my brain!" Love it. Really nice touch with like the hovercraft on the robot with like the skirt down there. I don't think I've ever truly appreciated that part of the animation on this. And I think there's one more phase after this. What are your favorite moments from The Simpsons? Leave a comment, let me know. One of my favorite later season ones was where they did, I forget if it was like a wife swap thing or a nanny thing that Homer had to give basically a report on like what he watched on TV. This one, I think it was like, you know, a parody of like the wife swap TV show, and Marge was living with like Ricky Gervais, and then like Ricky Gervais's wife was staying with the Simpsons, and she was like a real bitch, and Homer's like watching CSI Miami. He had to write a report on it. Homer punches him. Now I'm thinking about the time where where he's Pie Man, and he's like, "Throw me at Mr. Burns. I'm old and stale. I might just kill him." You know, Homer did his report on CSI Miami. He goes, some guy was murdered. I think it was in Miami, so CSI Miami was on the scene. And then a family talked about how much they loved the Olive Garden. Then I fell asleep, and when I woke up, Letterman was talking to Alias. That's it. That's the Simpsons Arcade Game. Yeah, one of the best beat 'em ups ever. Just stupid fun. And yeah, there are actually some differences in the Japanese version of the game. I didn't know this. But yeah, there were these tiny nukes that, like what Mr. Burns was throwing at you, that would clear the on-screen enemies, and which is kind of surprising. But oh, that's a nice touch. Yeah, and you could, if you had food when your health bar was already full, it would like accumulate up to like 3 levels beyond where you started. The score system was different, whereas like here we get 1 point per enemy beaten, and the enemy character would give a certain number of points in the Japanese version. So yeah, never got a home release, unfortunately, back in the day. I mean, it took forever to get the arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the home console, but you know, they did get it eventually. And you know, honestly, I'm not going to count the DOS and the Commodore 64 versions in '91. I did not know about the DOS version, but hard to imagine. Oh, the game just started again. I thought it was just moving on to the next screen. We're gonna let this run out. But in 2012, it did show up on Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. So there are options to finally play this at home, and it is a great game, definitely worth checking out. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know, do you remember playing this back in the day? Let me know what you think. Let me know your favorite Simpsons moments, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you next game.